Hi everyone. I want to just go over a couple things for this week. Number one, woohoo, my computer is working finally. Thanks to IT, and after several hours on the phone with them, I feel like I'm back on track. So Safari, actually this computer isn't working for Safari, but they got me another computer that's working. So that's all that matters. So yay, I'll finally be able to get back into InDesign and get things graded for you. I wanted to go over a couple things for this week. You'll notice in Blackboard that Learning Plan 9, I want you to go through Lesson 10. Lesson 10 is really going to be a lot of review for you, I believe, in that it's going to talk about the distinguishing between vector and bitmap graphics. I know you guys have taken Photoshop, you've taken Illustrator, you know a lot of this already. And some of the things that they're also covering is the links panel. So I'm going to go over that in just a second. I really just want you to work through Lesson 10. I'm not going to have you turn anything in, but there will be pieces of it that will be helpful for you as far as, making sure that you understand text wrapping, which, we've kind of done already in various things. I've showed you how to do that so that you could do it for other assignments. But just importing graphics from Photoshop and Illustrator, again, I'm sure you feel pretty comfortable with that, but it's good to just kind of work through and look through some of it just to practice. So Lesson 10 is part of this week. You're not turning it in for me. The next one is Lesson 11, which is creating tables. I think you're going to find that tables are super helpful. In that it can sometimes replace having to use tabs instead, and I'll talk about that in a second as well. Creating tables, Lesson 11, is part of your homework, so you're going to complete Lesson 11, work through the chapter, and upload the completed file when you're done. I want you to work through that chapter. I don't feel like tables are super difficult, but I think it's important that you still work through it because it does cover table styles a little bit, so that's important as well. The final thing I'm going to have you do is this tabs and tables assignment as well. So once you get done working through Lesson 11 and you work through tables, you're going to do an assignment where you have to practice that. The other thing I just want to mention right now is just notice I have in here suggested due date April 22nd. So I'm going to, from this point forward, I'm going to put out suggested due dates to help you stay on track. However, everything is going to be due the end of the semester. So some of you are struggling moving into this online format, completely understand that. But anything throughout the semester that you have not turned in, you can turn in at this point up until the last day of the semester for credit without penalty. So just with everything that's going on, I just want to give you every opportunity to turn things in and be successful in the course. So I know everything is a little crazy. And actually a student reached out to me and suggested this, and another instructor said that. And I was like, wow, great idea. So completely fine. I'm going to work this week also to get the rest of the learning plans opened and uploaded for you. Having a new book this semester has made it difficult for me to just kind of open everything up, but I'm going to do my best to get that moving forward. So if you do find yourself at a point where you can kind of just keep going, you'll be able to do that. So look for that within the next week. I'll have all that opened up for you. Okay, couple things here. I just want to first mention, so this is Lesson 10. I want to, again, we've talked about this before, but I want to talk about linking files again. So anytime you open a file in InDesign, you often hear, you often see the little message that comes up, do you want to modify or update your links? And this is what we're talking about here. So often when you place the file, we go to File and Place, we put a file into InDesign, it creates a link to that file. So wherever you have it saved on your document or in your computer, it's creating that link. I know we've talked about this before. We talked about it in class. I talked about it in a video earlier in the semester. However, I just want to reiterate again the importance of understanding this. And this is the exact reason why I'm having you package your files right now. Because when you package your file, your InDesign file, it saves all of these files with your document. And therefore, when I open it on my end, I get all your files, including your fonts and everything. So that's why I wanted to bring this up again. So you can see here, let's see if I go to the butterfly flower, if I click on this link here, it shows me where it is. The other advantage, notice our links in here, because they're talking about Photoshop and Illustrator here, they actually have the Photoshop and Illustrator files showing in here. The other advantage to linking is that if I would decide I want to adjust or change this butterfly flower file, I can do that in Photoshop and it'll automatically update it for me in InDesign because it's linked to my InDesign file. The other advantage to linking, which again, when you just go to File and Place and you place an image, it's automatically linking it. That's what you're doing. Different from embedding, where if you just go to copy and paste, that's going to embed the file. When you embed the file, great, it's there. You don't have to worry about losing it, but it makes your InDesign file much bigger. So that's why we link, so the file doesn't get so big. So going back to what I was just saying before, if I do change anything in that file, it'll automatically update it in here. Whereas if you have it embedded, you would have to change it, delete it in your InDesign file and re-embed the file. So recopy and paste to bring it in. So that's why we link files, to help keep the size of your document down. Now, if you're just creating a quick flyer or something, a one-pager, doesn't have a lot of stuff going on in there, sure, go ahead and embed it. No big deal. But the linking is what helps to keep everything kind of together. So I just wanted to reiterate that again, the difference between linking and embedding. Linking is when you go to File and Place, it just links it even though we don't really know it's doing that. That's what it's doing, is linking. And then if you do copy and paste, it's embedding the file. Embedding just means it's keeping the actual file in InDesign for you, and therefore will make your InDesign file bigger. Just one last point here then. When you are done with your file and I am asking you to package, that's what you're doing. You're going into File and Package. And when you file and package, it's going to bring everything in for you. You don't have to. File and packaging is not putting all the files yourself together into a folder and zipping it. That's not file package. That's different. Because when you go to File and Package, notice it's doing fonts, it's doing everything. It's not just keeping your images with your InDesign files. So just a reminder again, File and Package is what you want to do, choosing package. It's nice because it then, I'm just going to go ahead and do this to show you again, publication. Okay, go ahead, save it. I'm just going to keep it saved as this, click Save. Sure, I'll go ahead and replace it. Package. So when I hit Package here, I'm going to go out again to my desktop here to show you. It should have just thrown this on the desktop. Sorry, this is a little bit of a mess. I gotta find it. Did I put it in here instead? Sorry, just a second. Okay, sorry about that. It put it in my lesson 10 folder. I should have been paying attention to where I was saving it. So here's my folder that I just saved as. Notice that it has the name of the file, and then it automatically puts a PDF in there, which is perfect for me. So if I'm having any trouble or I just want to look at your PDF to make sure that everything looks the way you want it to look, it includes your fonts that you might have had in that document, and includes any images that you had in that document. So again, that's the whole reason behind packaging for your files when you're sending those to me. Okay, the next thing I want to do is just talk about Lesson 11. Lesson 11, this is the file you're going to start with. This is working with tables. So you're going to do a couple things with this lesson. You're going to have text that's already in here that you're going to change to a table. So we're going to do convert text to table. Whenever you have text already created and you want to move it into a table, you can tell it how is it separated. In this case, we can see that it's separated by tabs because I have my hidden characters turned on. But sometimes it might be separated by commas or by paragraphs, whatever. But you choose to tell it how you want that, how it's separated, and then you click OK. Automatically puts it into a table for you. I'm guessing most of you have worked with tables in Word before. Very similar. Once you have a table in here, you can see under the table menu, you can insert rows, columns, delete rows, columns. You can select, you can split columns, You can split cells, you can merge cells. So much you can do within a table. The nice thing about tables is it takes your information, it sets it all up real nicely for you, and then you can simply go up and you can turn off the borders for the table, and it looks as though you set a bunch of tabs. So in some ways, you can get away from using tabs when you have table options. Sometimes you have to use tabs. There's no way around it. But tables are really nice and easy to put in, even without, if I would go here and insert, you can easily insert a table from scratch as well. You can tell it how many rows and columns you want and so on. So inserting a table and then putting in the information yourself is easy enough. And just like in Word, you can adjust and change and move. And the chapter is going to go over how to do all of that, how you can, it's a little different than Word, but very similar in how you can add a table into your document. As I said earlier, this chapter, you do need to work through the chapter and turn it in. There are some things, even if you're familiar with tables in Word, that you're going to learn that are new. There's some little intricacies working with tables in InDesign. It's not exactly the same as what you might find in Word. So I just want you to work through the chapter and get an idea of how everything works. They even cover having table styles. So now that you've done styles already, now you can talk about table styles as well. You'll see that there are some already built in to the file itself, and you'll work with those styles. You'll see that also. Okay, so this will be part of an assignment. You'll work through, finish it, and turn that in for homework as well. Finally, the last thing I'm having you do is this tabs and tables assignment, and I just want to bring this up quickly. You're going to be recreating this registration form. I give you the file, although I don't think I've uploaded it yet, so I got to remember to do that. I give you this image, and you're going to recreate this. So as I put on here, the fonts do not have to be exact. If you want to dress it up a bit and use a different font, the glyph doesn't have to be exact. You can change that as well. Everything that's here needs to be here, but you can adjust it. So you don't like this extra white space up here, move it, change it. Adjust it as long as it looks professional and I can read it because of the font you've chosen. I'll be fine with that. I don't give you the exact size of the document. Oops, I forgot a period right here. I'll fix that. But I give you some information. And actually the sample that I'm going to go to right now, you can see they made this a larger document than what the sample shows you on the handout, which is fine. It doesn't matter, however you want to do that. So I just wanted to bring this up quickly to show you, and I think this is in preview mode. So let's look at this here. I don't have this file link, that's why I have a question mark here. But so you can see the bottom part here is a table. That's how you're going to create this bottom part as a table. This is tabs, and I just want to bring up the tabs here quickly to just go over a couple things. If you just notice, you're going to have to use leader tabs for this. And if I click on this first line here, you can see the tab way over here. And it has the leader tab. And to get that line, you're just going to put in an underscore here to get that line. To when you hit the tab key, you want to have the leader there. It'll put that line in there for you. Same thing here, the next line down. You'll probably be able to use the same tab there. Now when you get to this line, it's going to be a little trickier because you have some spots in here where we don't want the actual line in there. So if I click on this tab, you know that there's a leader. I can see the leader there for that tab. On this tab, where we clicked from here to create a tab, there is no leader, so that gave us a blank spot there. Hope that makes sense. So first leader, it includes the underscore so that when you hit the tab key, it puts the line in there. Now after this tab, we hit tab again. This tab does not have a leader, so therefore it keeps the underline is not there. Now I go back here, I have to put in another tab, and now this tab does have the leader back again because I need the line. Hit tab again, no leader because I need this blank space here. So clearly these last two lines are going to be the most challenging to work with. All said and done, if you keep having problems, make sure you're clearing your tabs. Delete your tabs, clear them in order to fix that. But as you can see here, I just wanted to point out to you again, in order to get these lines up here, you're using a tab. Oops, I just messed up there. You're using a tab that has a leader, the underscore with it. But to get those blank spaces in there, you have to create another tab without the leader. So that's how that's going to be. So again, working with tabs, this will be the most frustrating part of the assignment right here, messing around with that. If you can figure out a way to do this in a table instead, go right ahead. But I just don't think that it's going to turn out as nicely in a table. It's going to be just as much work trying to configure that in a table. So this is a good example of sometimes you have to have tabs, sometimes a table still works for you. So anyway, I just wanted to kind of go over that for you just to explain how the tabs are going to work in that area. Once again, if you have any questions, please reach out to me. Note those due dates. I am always a little hesitant to put out due dates so far ahead because people then tend to just put things off. But with the situation being as it is right now, I just want to eliminate those due dates so that you feel like you can be successful in the class. So all due dates moving forward will be suggested to help keep you on track. Otherwise, everything is due on that last day of class, May 8th. So let me know if you have any questions. Hope you're all doing well. Take care.